This has Cowboys fans fired up as we still wait for a Micah Parsons contract extension announcement, and similarly to player extensions in the past, the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones continue to make us wait until the last possible moment. Welcome into Cowboys Digest, everybody. We are happy you are here. Micah Parsons has still not yet signed an extension with the Dallas Cowboys, and most of that blame is probably on Jerry Jones for not, quite frankly, forking up the money, because he is worth it. And in this video, fans are starting to get a little frustrated by it, but I'm going to tell you why there shouldn't be any worry and why Micah will sign an extension. It's just a matter of when. Before we get going, though, I do want to get a gauge on Cowboys Nation, and let me know this. If you are frustrated / you want Micah Parsons to sign an extension with the Cowboys already, then go down there and hit that like button for me. As many likes as we get, that's how I'll know how many fans of the Dallas Cowboys are frustrated and just ready for this whole thing to be over and for Micah to be signed with the Dallas Cowboys for the foreseeable future. This is where the report all stems from, and kind of talking about why this is even topic right now. Because as we talk about Micah Parsons and the news we get in, it's okay. Contract extensions are talking that it's happening, but apparently Dallas Cowboys fans are now fed up with the team in one, they call it, bizarre area in the way that the Dallas Cowboys have conducted their team business in the past couple of years. Now, there's a lot of things to talk about this, but it obviously stems from Micah Parsons being now the third player to want / in my opinion, be warranted with a contract extension. And over the offseason, we sit here as fans and wait, and it still hasn't happened yet, and we're nearly halfway through July at this point. But if you think about extensions in the past, you think about CeeDee Lamb, you think about Dak Prescott. Those happened later on as well, and we'll bring those up in just a moment to kind of tell you when those happen and when we could expect a Micah Parsons extension. Before that, though, I do want to go to the article because he has some interesting points. We first talk about it here from Matthew Schmidt of Dallas Cowboys SI saying, quote, "Understandably, Cowboys fans are tired of the lack of postseason success. Dallas has not made an NFC championship game since January of 1996, and even winning one playoff game during the team's appearances has largely been a trying exercise for the Cowboys." End quote. That's obviously a form of frustration. Like, we have seen this team year after year have these expectations, look ready to perform, and yet it just never seems to click. And especially in the Dak Prescott era, it's just not been great. And the one thing they have excelled at is keeping the players that you would expect that would make them championship caliber teams, but they do it in a really interesting manner, and that's kind of where we continue on here with this report. Matthew Schmidt of Dallas Cowboys SI saying, quote, "But one thing Dallas has been able to do is keep its own players. It locked up CeeDee Lamb on a long-term contract, it broke the bank to retain Dak Prescott, and now, barring a bizarre turn of events, the Cowboys will surely extend Micah Parsons as well," end quote. So there's the big update for Micah Parsons. Everybody and their mother believes that unless something absolutely crazy happens, Micah Parsons will be a Dallas Cowboy when it's said and done when we get to week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. But you can't lie. I'd like this to just be a story that's in the past. I don't want to have to worry about this heading into training camp like we had to do last year with CeeDee or Dak. It's just becoming something that is not a thing that I want them to have to worry about when we're trying to get ready for a season that we have George Pickens, for a season that this team looks very complete, and yet there's other things that we're worrying about rather than, winning games. It's, will Micah Parsons get signed? Obviously, there's injury questions as well, but that's always a thing. And I'm just ready for all this to kind of go. And that's where you come in, Cowboys fans, because I found an interesting report from The Athletic that was quoted here in this article. I found it very interesting. Quote, "However, Dallas fans are apparently fed up with the way Jerry Jones handles the extension process, as 71.5% of the fan base calling the Cowboys, quote, among the league's worst when it comes to re-signing their own players in a poll conducted by John Machado of The Athletic," end quote. Which is absolutely wild to me, because the Cowboys have, in most instances, retained their own players. As the three that I've mentioned, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and most likely Micah Parsons. But yet, some reason, Cowboys fans are still upset. And that's where this article kind of talks about, like, Why is this an upsetting thing? Well, it's upsetting because it happens so late. It's not something that like you can get and be excited for. It's something you have to wait for. And it's getting annoying. And so that's where I want to look at CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And I've talked about this in previous videos, but I want to bring it back up. CeeDee Lamb did not sign his contract extension until August 27th of 2024 last year rather. Right now, it's what, July 10th, July 11th area? Whenever you're watching this. We still have a month and a half until CeeDee Lamb had his contract signed. Now, is it a different situation? 1,000%. I'm not saying that these two are 100% comparable, but it is something to take into mind when seeing how the Cowboys conduct their business. Now, I also mentioned Dak Prescott. He also got a huge extension last year. What exactly / when did that happen? That was, if we look at the date on this article from ESPN, September 8th, 2024. So, last year, when contract extensions were up and ready to be signed for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, the Cowboys waited. And so I start to sit here and wonder when I look at the Micah Parsons situation and I understand the team's history in extending their own players, is there something that we're not seeing? Is there something with Jerry Jones? Is he waiting on a certain investment? Is there something that hasn't hit the bank yet to why he waits until August, September to extend these players? And yes, this is more recent history, but there has been countless players who have signed at a later date than what you would have expected. Maybe not August or September, but definitely not June or May or even the early parts of July. So when will Micah sign is probably the big question that everybody has and what you're asking right now. And that's exactly the same question I'm asking myself because, quite frankly, he deserves all the money he is asking for. He only played 13 games last year, yet had 12 sacks, had 12 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 23 quarterback hits. And when you look at his stats as a whole, it looks like a guy who deserves top-tier defensive money. He played in 17 games in 2023, 17 games in 2022, 16 games in 2021, has had double-digit sacks in every single year, including last year when he was on pace to break his sack record for a single season, his own personal record. And it got cut short. He was fantastic last year, and I understand because of the injury, it's more of a risk in some ways. But you have to get a deal done because, quite frankly, every single day that you wait, this contract becomes larger and larger. If you look at the money that Micah Parsons is expected to get, he wants to be the top guy in the NFL defensive player world. Right now, that top guy is Myles Garrett. Behind him, Max Crosby, $35.5 for Max, $40 million for Myles. I would argue that he is better, if not at least as good as Myles Garrett, and better than Max Crosby. He deserves top-tier money. He's going to get it. I understand there's cap space to be worked out because I think the Cowboys right now are like $30 million. But again, extension-wise, you can work out the money to fit the cap space properly. This deal has to get done, and I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of it being a story. I'm ready for this to be pushed in the past. I'm ready for the contract to be signed and for the Dallas Cowboys to go on in the offseason, already knowing Micah Parsons will be in a Dallas Cowboys uniform when it comes to week 1 and when it comes to next season, quite frankly. And there's been rumors that Micah Parsons has set a contract date where, if he doesn't get it by then, he may not be discussing it for a while. And we hear that all across sports all the time. Oh, I'm not going to discuss a contract after this point. Heck, Myles Garrett said, I'm not going to sign with the Browns. I want to sign with a contender and then sign with the Browns anyways because they give him $40 million a year, which I would too, 100%. But the point is, sometimes what they say is not always what they mean. In the same manner, though, you have got to get this signed. Now, that's again where we continue on in the report. John Machado of The Athletic said this in that article where he quoted that percentage of Cowboys fans that is frustrated, saying, quote, when it comes to how they manage the contracts of their top players, it's difficult to disagree with the fans on this one. In the end, the elite players have always come out with a better deal by waiting, and the Cowboys have eventually signed them all. He's right. Most of the time, the elite players do end up with the Dallas Cowboys. However, are they overpaying is the question? I kind of don't think so. And Matthew Schmidt of Dallas Cowboys SI also agrees. He says, quote, has Dallas overpaid to keep its guys? That's debatable, because if you look at CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, they probably would have landed equally massive contracts elsewhere too. The waiting game can be frustrating, but hey, at least the Cowboys are getting the job done, right? End quote. And that's exactly what I'm saying here, and kind of the quote that I want to bring up from my own thoughts. It's going to happen. A signing for Micah Parsons is going to happen. Now, I get it. It is 100% frustrating. I'm frustrated right now. But do I have any single doubt in my mind that Micah Parsons will get an extension done before the upcoming season? There's no doubts. He will have it done. There will be a contract signed. Micah will be a Cowboy for the foreseeable future. It's just annoying that for another offseason in a row, a lot of the times we're not talking about or looking at or thinking about the upcoming season in some ways. But we have this looming thing in the back of our minds or over our heads that's like, hey, Micah's not signed yet. Hey, Dak's not signed yet. Hey, CeeDee's not there yet. Like that, they don't have it extended yet. I would just like it to be handled a little different. And I know Jerry Jones, he does his business in the way he does his business, but I need this guy on my team for the foreseeable future because he is, in my opinion, the best defensive player in the NFL, if not top two, top three. Like, if you want to argue Myles Garrett, maybe. I can't see a Max Crosby argument. I truly believe it's Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons in the field. TJ Watt, cool. Like, I truly believe that Micah's better than him. But either way, that's for opinion takes later. But I'm just ready for this a contract extension to be signed and for us to stop talking about it. That's all we got for you today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on this. Is this something you're frustrated with, or are you kind of just like, it'll get done. I'm not really worried about it. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out, everybody.